Now let's look at bile and how that is associated with the digestive system. So we need to understand where bile comes from, what makes up bile, how does it get into the digestive system process. And in order to do that, we're going to have to go a little bit deeper and look at where it originates from within the liver as well. But first, let's look at the basics of bile, and let's talk about what is bile. Okay, so we know it is a yellowish green fluid. Okay, it's alkaline. So as opposed to the acidic contents of the stomach, this is going to be an alkaline secretion. It's made mostly of water, and it has bicarbonate ions associated with this. Okay, it has bile salts, bile pigments. It's made of cholesterol. There's a couple other things that I'm not going to get into. And your body produces 0.5 to 1 liter per day. Okay, so it's constantly being produced in this case. So now we know what kind of makes up bile. Let's now look at where bile comes from. So we're going to look at a little bit more on the liver in this case. So let's look at here. Now this is a little bit to do with the liver, and the structural and functional unit of the liver is the hepatic lobule. So structural and functional unit of liver is the hepatic lobule. Okay, now the lobule is basically these structures. Okay, those are the hepatic lobules, those sort of things. Now the hepatic lobule are made up of a variety of different structures, and one of the structures are going to be hepatocytes. Hepatocytes, liver cell. So you can see these individual cells here. Those are hepatocytes. And hepatocytes are the cell that's actually producing the bile. Okay, so that's where they're coming from. So part of the hepatic lobule, okay, at the periphery, at the outside edge, we have what's called the portal triad. Here. And the portal triad consists of the bile duct, or bile ductule, I should say, your hepatic portal vein. So this is the hepatic portal vein and hepatic artery. Okay. So on this, your portal vein accounts for 75% of the blood flow to the liver. The artery accounts for 25% of blood flow to the artery. Okay, so I'm not so concerned with the artery in this case. I'm more looking at the hepatic portal vein. That's obviously 75% of the blood flow to the liver. And this is also carrying with it nutrients that have been absorbed by your digestive tract. So let's go over here real quick. And this top picture, you've got your inferior vena cava here. And these are the blood vessels that are absorbing the nutrients from your digestive tract. Okay, we're not talking about the fatty stuff that's in the lymphatic system. That's a whole nother issue. But what we're looking at on this one I just put this picture a little bit closer because the blood vessels that you see all along in here, all of those blood vessels, those are represented with that kind of stuff, okay? Don't need to worry about the naming of those. We've done that previously, so I'm not as concerned with that one at this point. So let's go back to here. And when we're looking at the blood supply to your hepatic lobule or your liver in general, one other structure for the lobule we have are this hepatic sinusoid. And these are these structures, okay? And so your hepatic portal vein brings in blood, okay? And then they kind of enter into the various sinusoids. Now the sinusoids are going to be absorbing the nutrients and then deliver it to the hepatocytes. The arteries and whatnot are going to be delivering oxygen to the hepatocytes for your aerobic respiration. They are lined with a cell called a stellate cell, which are macrophages, which help to remove or phagocytose harmful substances. And once you go through this whole process and the hepatocyte produces bile, it secretes it into the bile ductule, okay? The bile ductules from all these different areas end up joining together, and that takes us, let me go down to this picture. If you recall this one, okay, so your liver's just draining everything into these sort of things. So the ductules then join together, then you're going to get larger duct and larger ducts. These are going to be your hepatic ducts. Hepatic ducts join to form the common hepatic duct. We've gone through this. This is the gallbladder, okay, on this one, okay, and you can see cholecystokinin allows for the gallbladder to squeeze, which releases the bile, comes down and squirts it into the duodenum of the small intestine, okay? So that's the process that we're looking at on here. Now, what are the functions of bile? So let's go down. Let me go over here. Functions of bile. Okay, so bile is going to, one, neutralize the acidic chyme. Okay, because remember the stomach has a lot of that hydrochloric acid and other things, squirts it into the small intestine. Now we have to neutralize it, and it's neutralizing it from the bicarbonate that is found within bile. Okay, so that's where the neutralization comes from. It also has bile salts, and those bile salts work for mechanical digestion, and it does the mechanical digestion. So it kind of breaks up the fatty particles and whatnot, and breaks it up for it to be absorbed a little bit better. And the third one, we're going to be dealing with elimination of waste products associated with RBC breakdown. Now, remember erythrocyte breakdown, we talked about this previously, that whole process. When you break down the erythrocytes or red blood cells, you end up with a product called bilirubin. Okay, and then that's the waste product, which is a bile pigment that gets into the bile and it ends up being excreted out. So those are your basic functions of bile, where they come from, how it gets into the small intestine. Next up, we're going to look at the pancreas. Brief looking at what are the pancreatic juices, what those do, and we'll go from there. Stay tuned.